Lo Ryan, lo all. To Aunt Ryan, I'm sorry I don't have the original filming that we did when you came over. The audio is peaking really bad because of where my mouth was next to the phone. I don't know what I'm doing trying to fix it. I'm doing my best. It's going to take a minute though while I figure things out. So, what Ryan and I were doing when she was over at my house was starting this anglerfish mermaid out. And you can see where we got to in the top right corner. That's about where we got to. And I put it there so you can kind of see how I developed it after Ryan went home and I kept going. The anglerfish I was using, Ryan saw a picture of it. What I was using as reference. I don't know how that's going to work with copyright, so I'm not going to put a picture in here. But it was a fanfin sea devil for anyone who wants to look it up. They have a lot of tendrils and stuff coming off of them. I don't think that's like the technical term, but that's the one I'm using. That's why the hair looks that way. I was really unhappy with the hair, and after I finished this recording, into the next recording even, because I did a few sessions between when Ryan left and now, I choose a different anglerfish as my reference, as my inspiration and reference. So that'll be a journey. It's a journey you're going on with me here. And I was really unhappy with this image when I got done with it. It's very hard for me to draw and talk at the same time. That's why I've decided that I'm going to do all my audio after at this point, except maybe when Ryan is over and we're talking together. But it's really hard for me to concentrate on the drawing and get something I like out of it. I can get my basics down, but I can't get anything really solid, I feel. Because I get distracted. I'm a talker, just a thing. I talk a lot and I ramble. There are a lot of tangents I've cut out of this recording, like just images, and because I cut out the images of the tangent, obviously I cut out the audio. There are a lot of tangents I went on in this recording. I cut out all the erasing, which took it down quite a bit, but getting out those tangents also took it down a lot. I think this was about 50 minutes worth of recording to start with. A lot of it was just me sort of explaining my process and then going on tangents about what I was doing and how I was figuring out the anatomy. And that might be interesting to somebody, Ryan, or maybe somebody watching. And I can go into it more, but it wasn't what this needed, I didn't think. This is supposed to be the start of a conversation. I don't know how, but I'm going to try. One of the things that's going to happen is I'm going to hand it over to my past self from 3 or 4 days ago, because one of the things I talked about when I was doing this was how I didn't like the image and how I was still working it because I thought maybe I could get something good out of it. I didn't, but I learned. And you'll see me work a lot on the hands. I really enjoy drawing hands. I think they're really interesting, but they are hard. And drawing the gesture of the bird is real hard, especially at a 3/4 angle. I kind of want to know what Ryan wonders about what I'm doing here, because I am an artist. I've been doing art I'm 32 and I've been doing it for probably since I could toddle, since I could hold a crayon. I don't know what parts of art are interesting to people. I'm hoping Ryan will ask me the questions about what she wants to know and maybe ask me anything she wants. I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm supposed to be opening a conversation here because we want to have a back and forth. I'm just not sure how to start it or what to start it with. I took a break between my last audio bit and now, and it occurred to me, as some things do out of the blue, despite their obviousness, that Aunt Rian has been around my whole life, but I have not been around her whole life. I know some stuff, obviously, about what she was like growing up. Mom tells stories, but also I don't know everything and I do have questions. So I'll ask them. My first question is also kind of a small world story, and it is what Mr. Rich was like as a band teacher when you were younger, because he was my band teacher when I was in junior high. And part of this small world thing is that my grandpa Gary, grandpa on the other side, obviously, worked with Mr. Rich back in the day. He was a music teacher. And all three of us loved him, apparently, which, I mean, understandable. but I was wondering if you had any stories of him from when you were young, fun ones. I have one, and it's that the rumor when I was in junior high was that he had a toupee, and everyone thought that it was the funniest thing that he might have a toupee. We had no proof, no evidence, and I never learned whether or not he did. And I never really cared personally, but I think it's really funny that that was something that was big around school. Another thing I'm wondering is what it's like to be a Girl Scout troop leader. Because you said when you were over here that that's a thing you do now. And I remember you did something with my Girl Scout troop when I was young. I know you cooked, but I don't know if you were a troop leader. And I'm wondering if you were. And I'm also wondering if you weren't, what your like job title was. And then I'm also just wondering what it's like to be a Girl Scout troop leader now, because I'm sure things have changed, and I'm just kind of curious how. And if you have any stupid stories of me when I was little, being a stupid little kid as a Girl Scout, I am willing to hear those. Though I reserve the right to edit them out. Going back to our visuals for a second, I in this bit I keep like touching my hand. It's because when I was doing this bit, when I was recording it, I was explaining how I was putting the hand together, and kind of the building blocks of the human hand, not anatomy, but just kind of the way it works. You can't see the hand very well. You'll be able to see it later, but I thought it was worth keeping in, if just for the fact that I'm making silly gestures. Back to questions. I am pretty sure, Ryan, that you went to school for music. I know when you were younger, you played the trumpet. And if I remember correctly, at some point semi recently, you asked mom if she still had her flute because you might want to play it. I'm wondering if you still play anything, and if so, what? Also, would you be interested in taking my clarinet? Because I'm not going to use it. And it's fine. Like it's definitely a learner clarinet. It's nothing special, but it's a clarinet. And if you're interested in playing stuff, or you are playing stuff, they're small, easy to transport, whatever. This is my sales pitch. Anyway, I love you, and I'm going to hand it back to me from a few days ago. So I was talking before about how sometimes you gotta scrap a piece, but you gotta work it before you scrap it. I would not have gotten here if I hadn't kept working at the stupid thing, but I do have to scrap it. Like for a sketchbook piece, this is totally fine, but I want to make this like a solid piece. What's going to happen is she's going to be cut off and there's going to be too much space over here, so I need to move everything that way. But I wouldn't have figured out how I want the curve to go, or that I want my little guy up higher instead of down here, or that I would want her fin all the way over here. All this stuff I figured out because I was willing to just keep working on this stupid page that I don't like and I was really frustrated with. Because I was willing to keep working this, I was able to find out the flaws in it that I can fix in my next piece.